Hey Noah, so I want to take a look at your squats here. I'm going to let this video play out and see what a few things seem to catch your eye. Okay, and then that just continues in like form throughout the rest of the set. So two things jump out at me. One is your depth, and I know that Kyle pointed this out in his email. The reason why, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but the reason why I think it's significant here and how it plays with the rest of your form is when your glutes are fully extended, they're going to be extraordinarily weak and not able to grab this movement really until the quads can straighten out the knee a little bit more and your lower back can straighten up really to get those glutes underneath to drive the movement. There's really very little, if any, contribution to glutes for the bottom few inches of this particular depth. If you can get those knees, let's say about 90, maybe a little bit less, all right, I think if you came down to a depth of this degree, you wouldn't have the bar on your shoulders really putting so much strain on your lower back. You'd be able to arrange your back in a better configuration to allow your glutes to dominate and your hips to drive forward. Now, the other thing that I see here is if we focus on your heels, okay, can barely see them, but here at the bottom, we see them come up off the ground. All right, so what that means is that your weight is right about here. The reason why I don't like platform shoes and squat shoes is that they fool you into believing that your foot is flat on the floor, when in fact it's not. The bottom of the shoe is flat on the floor. But here we can obviously see, well, before this even manifests into a heel rise, we could pretty much guarantee that your weight has already began shifting to the ball of your feet. Okay, so in keeping your hips back, it's going to force your depth to be about here. All right, naturally your knees are going to be more over your midfoot and your heel, which will allow for the glutes when they drive forward to really push that lower leg perpendicular to the ground. We'll let this play out and see. And I think that everything we see after that is really a consequence of that. Okay, we see as the weight begins to work on you more and more, 315 ain't a lightweight. We see just a predictable degradation of form in the very same ways. I mean, it's not a messy squat by any measure. I mean, after you've gotten a shitload of reps in, obviously you're fatigued, but you can see there the back really start to pick it up. The back really has no choice. It's got no help. You can actually see the moment the glutes grab here. Now, granted, you're fatigued. This is later in the set, but if we watch how much your back works here, boom, back, 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 you see the moment the glutes drive forward, your back, boom, right? Your back starts to straighten out. So if we were to stop it there, okay, this is right about the moment, back, back, and you can see the knees move forward, which to me tells me that your glutes are driving. Now, if those quads can depend on a more vertical lower leg, they're going to better be able to distribute weight parallel in direct opposition to gravity, and that's going to lessen the burden for your lower back to lift. I don't know if you lift all the time with a lifting belt. It kind of looks like you lift with the belt often, even with a lighter weight. Correct me if I'm wrong. You certainly don't want this movement to be dependent upon the support that you gain from your belt. You want there to be a significant contribution of a functional core to your squats, particularly at the lower and moderate weights. This way, when you do rely on it, when you need it, it'll serve its purpose as opposed to just allowing your core to take the rep off. Anyway, I hope that was useful. Feel free to email me or reach out to me. Let me know if you have any questions or dig into this any further.